All right, so happy Tuesday. This is the second video of the day. It is 8.2.2 areas of regular polygons. Here is the essential question in case you have not written it down, but make sure you're writing it down because it's at your week at a glance paper that I passed out yesterday. So before I get started, I wanted to go over an example of finding the area of triangles. So most of us already know this, and we know that the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 of the base times the height. And in this case, the base is always going to be the distance right there, and the height is always going to be this distance up here. So in this case, the base is 6, and the height is 10. So to solve this, it's a lot easier than you probably think. All you have to do is the area, or A, equals 1/2 of, let me change my colors, 6 times 10. Who can tell me what 6 times 10 is? Probably already know what it is. It's 1/2 of 60. What's 1/2 of 60? Same thing as 30. So in this case, the area equals 30. So before I move on, I want you all to go ahead and give these a try. And in a few seconds, I'm also going to ask you to make sure you submit these on the EduCanon link. So go ahead and do that now. Okay, welcome back. And in case you were wondering, I'll go ahead and do a couple of these for you. Again, the base in this case is 12. The height is 10. So for this first one, the area is equal to 1/2 of 10 times 12. 10 times 12 is 120, so A equals 1/2 of 120, or A equals 60. I think most of you are pretty comfortable with this, so I'm just going to go ahead and move on. But if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, so the lesson, what is a regular polygon? And a regular polygon is a shape with equal, or as we all like to say, congruent. Make sure you're using that academic language. Congruent sides and angles. So what that means is that this side is the same as this side, is the same as this side, and this side. And similarly, the angles are all the same as well. There's two important things about this. There is the radius, which is the distance from the center to the bottom, to the bottom, to a corner. It doesn't have to be the bottom one. This right here is the radius, so center to corner, or vertex, again with the academic language. You can say this is the radius, this is the radius, this is the radius, and this is the radius. The apothem is the distance to the center as well, but it's to a different center. It's from the center to the midpoint. Make sure you're writing this down. There is a pencil on the top right of the screen. And then this we're going to label as A. The radius we're just going to label as R. And make note of this. Try to see why I think I bolded these lines, because this is actually going to help us for something else. And the base, just to kind of get used to it, is this distance right here. So on your EduCanon app, this question will pop up a little bit. So make sure you explain the difference between radius and apothem in your own words. So how can we find the area? Identify the radius and apothem, and then with the people around you, find the area of the following polygons. And I go ahead and I'll start this first one for you. The apothem in this case is going to be 11. The radius we don't know, but I do know that it's from here to here. And the base I know is going to be 16. Now go ahead and try this before I give you the summary of it. But if you can find the area of the entire thing using just this triangle, hint, hint, you pretty much prove the whole thing by yourself. So again, go ahead and try these. And I'm going to ask you to submit your answers before you move on. Alright, so now we're getting into all the complicated stuff. Um, dun, 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 dun. How can we find the A or the area for any polygon? So this is probably what most of you did, but I'm going to go ahead and review everything first. So the radius, the base, is going to be 16. The radius is here. And the apothem is the 11. And for now, I'm actually going to go ahead and black mostly of everything out. Just because we're only going to focus on this triangle down here. Dun, 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 dun. You'll see why this is going to help us in a little bit. Let me go ahead and label this 2, so that I don't forget. So the first thing I did, before I even started anything else, just to write the steps over here, was label, oops, let me just cross that out. Label the known info. In this case, for example, I knew that my apothem was 11 and my base was 16. Don't actually know what the radius is, but that's okay, we don't need it for now. The next part. Now, this is kind of what I did right now, and you see why this is important, because you can actually break this up into a whole bunch of triangles. So what I'm going to say the next part is number 2. Break the polygon, say poly, into triangles using the center. Now that's going to be really important, so I'm going to actually underline that. Using the center, because it's similar to what we did yesterday, except instead of using a vertex, we're going to use the center. So once I did that, which I already did for you, third step is going to be find the area of just one triangle. Now you see why this will help us in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is find the area of this triangle that I have highlighted right there. So the area is equal to 1/2 of base times height, where in this case the area is equal to 1/2 of base, which is 16, times the height, in this case, is 11. And while you take out your calculator, I'm going to go ahead and take mine out. 16 times 11 is 176. So the area is equal to 1/2 of 176. Or, area equals 88. Now, am I done? No. Be careful. That was just the area of this small non-highlighted triangle right there. Now, how can I find the area of the entire thing? Well, for a shape of 5 sides, I'm always going to have 5 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I can do in this case is that the area of the entire thing is actually going to be 88 times 5, or 440. So this right here is actually going to be my final answer. 440. And to review that, the fourth step was find the total area using part 3. Before we move on, I'm going to ask you to rewrite the steps in your own words on the Educator app, and just to make sure that you understand it. For this final part, this is the same problem that I asked you to solve initially before I showed you the little semi-shortcut. So go ahead and submit this problem. And by now you should probably already have your classwork, so go ahead and get started. And please let me know if you have any questions.